Hello and welcome. My name is Sharon and this is Trio.of.Witches Tarot. This is going to be a video about deck mods. This is basically the equipment that you need. You could just use scissors to trim cards, but it's often doesn't come out well. A deck like this you could follow, because I'm going to cut off all the white, you could follow that and do it. And then a corner rounder, this is a great one. It has a small, medium, large. This is the guide, so I've measured what I wanted to cut on the cards and I just use a box. I mean, you could use pretty much anything that has a straight edge. So I will be modifying the Vetti Tarot. This is a beautiful deck, but the cards, I mean, you can see from the box, the cards are gigantic and they are thin and it's just hard to handle. And I have big hands, and I am going to cut off the white border. Yeah, that's what I'm going to do. So here are a couple I've already trimmed. I'm leaving a titch of the white just because I'm like freaked out and extra cautious about cutting into the art. And cards aren't always centered very well, as I will talk about with other decks. So how does this work? Just like that. It freaks me out every time. So nervous. So I'm just going to keep going. Okay, so they are all trimmed now, and you know, they're not perfect, but that's in part because the art sometimes is a little off center and the cut is a little off. So now what I want to do is just feel for any that are taller, because the sides aren't totally even. So I'm going to trim those and I will be back. Okay, I gave them a shave. And, you know, they aren't all perfectly even, but there's none that are, like, totally driving me crazy. And then we do it this way, too. And yes, I'm wearing a Band-Aid because the blade on the cutter is very, very sharp and I nicked myself on it. So now what I'm going to do, I always start with the small corner rounder. And if I don't like it, I can always go bigger. But because the art, in some places the art is right up against the edge. It's hard to do when it's far away like that. Okay, so all the corners are rounded here and there, and that's what the backs look like. So yeah, it's not totally even, and I can live with that because it's much more manageable. That's what the fronts look like now, and I like it better without the border. I kind of wish I had taken the time to finagle the cards a little more, but it was hard because some of them it's right up against the art, like on this one, but there's still a white border back here, so yeah, it was that centering thing. So this is probably as good as I would have gotten, and I'm happy with it. So that is the mod of the Vetti Tarot. This is another deck that I modified, and I think, is it Meg, a Rose Honey Ritual, who I was talking to? I will remember, and I will link her video of this deck, because she does a full, really good walkthrough of it. But it was big. So it was as big as this book. And for my giant hands, it was still a little unruly. And it had this brown border that I didn't love. I mean, I don't mind it on the bottom with the name. And so I cut off the sides and the top here and a little bit off the bottom. And this is what it looks like trimmed. Maybe it's better if I do like one card at a time so you can see. And I like it better. So Meg, there you go. That's a Jumbledance trimmed. This is, in this bag, is the Vetti Tarot by Robert M. Place. And this was a giant monster, and the cards are super bendy, and so it was unruly. So on this one, see, those are the backs. So you can't even tell what I did. So I cut off the tops and the bottoms because it had a giant black border. I'll try to insert a picture. And then I trimmed the sides as well because it had like way more black border. And this was really uneven. Some of the art was like shifted one way and shifted the other way. This one took a long time because I had to finagle every single card. In the end, they got to the same size, but the sides and the top and especially the top and the bottom, if I remember correctly, you know, some picture and some of the images are bigger than others. And so it was just super frustrating. So let's see, can I shuffle it? I might not be able to. That's a big deck. It's super bendy though, look at that. So it's not ideal cardstock because it's bendy, but it's bendy in a weird floopy way. They're floopy. I have no better word than floopy. Edged it in red. The edges were chippy. There was a lot wrong with this deck. So that's the Vetti Tarot. And okay, so another mod I did was on the Marielle. I have the second edition. So, you know, a lot of people have the first edition and they modify it because it has big borders and I think there was cardstock issues. I don't know. So yeah, this is the one that's edged in silver. I like, you know, gilding. I'm a sucker for it. So this is one that I modified and I should zoom in. Okay, so he is one that I modified. After I modified the card that prevented me from using this deck at all, I kind of went crazy. I mean, it's a mass market deck, so I can get, and the book has, you know, the original images, Page of Swords. Let's find it. Oh, that's right, they're ordered that way. Page of Swords. So there you go. And there's, I have no problem with this nudity. I just kind of went crazy because it was so freeing to just say to myself, you know what, I can fix this deck so I can use it. And here he is. There he is. So if you don't know this card, be prepared to see this part. And if you do know this card and it bothers you, turn away, go skip it over, whatever. So here we go, side by side of it. He's still arrogant and terrible, but obviously I have things to work out there, but I just couldn't. So I wasn't going to use this deck. It just sat because of him. And then, you know, then I was like, okay, well, there's other cards that bother me, don't bother me as much as him. And some that I'm just like, I just had fun putting bikini tops on them. So she has a, you know, she, he, they. There's another one when I put a bikini on them. This one is more hermaphrodite, so there was, you know, stuff down there. And there's another one that I put a top on. Here's her. She's got a purple bikini now. I just had fun. You know, there was a point when I was just like having fun, making this deck my own. The Fool. It's got his part covered up. I kind of was able to mimic the butterflies. I made this deck my own. Now this is my soul deck. And I love it. I can work with it. I can use it. I mean, there's a lot to learn, but I can use it now, and I can look at it, and I can like kind of laugh and be like, oh yeah, I remember I got carried away, but I had fun. Is there any more? There are no more. So those are the cards that I modified in the Marielle so that I could use it. And not all of them needed to be modded for me to be able to use it, but I had fun and now it's mine. Okay, so another deck I modded is the Tarot of the Abyss. So I have 2 copies. I mean, it's mass market, it's not expensive. And I just wanted to color it, have some fun. After I had colored on the Marielle, the coloring beast was unleashed. So I could have done it side by side, but so you can see the colors there and there. We'll go quick through all the cards because they're all colored. I don't love the color of her dress, and I don't love the colors on him. I think I went too far on those. I love how that came out. Just how that lion just pops. And her red lips. She's awesome. I have a hard time with this one, how to color it. I think I like it. I'm not sure. This I love. And that. I didn't color that one. I like how that came out. I had no idea how to color this, so I didn't. And then this, you know, just the people falling, they were hard to see. So just a little bit of yellow, and then I did color them a little bit. And then with the stars. I don't know what this down here, but I think I got the effect of the moon shining on the water a little. And the sun. I could have gone crazy on the sun, but I kind of restrained myself, and I'm happy I did. I'm still torn on what to do with this one. And I had fun with that snake and the blue eye and the phoenix. There's just some things that really needed blue water when we get to it. There's some cards that once I started coloring on it, there were details that I noticed that I hadn't noticed before. Those are not that interesting ones. Yeah, these little people, or whatever they are. The water, I love how that came out. And these guys. And then them, I think it's like, it gives you this really huge contrast in age there. And the cups in this one were kind of hidden. Again, the cups were hard to see. And these little people up here, didn't really notice until I put, I mean, you could notice them, but until I put colored the branches in, I think they pop more. And this one, so up here there's people in the clouds, which I had never noticed until I started coloring it. Okay. Yeah, I think you can see them there. I don't know, maybe you've noticed them before. So that was that one, and her, I just wanted her to have like these really powerful colors and see the liquid coming out. And all these cups full of flowers. This one I don't know what else I would have done with it. And the cup kind of blended in with the waves, so the color makes it pop. Again, the cup kind of blended in with the waves, and you didn't really notice it. These cups were hard to see. And then in this card, I'm going to zoom in again. So yeah, in the tree, there's a house, and there's a woman reaching, which I had no idea was there before I colored this card. So that's another detail. And this one I really want to color these masks, but I got overwhelmed with the coloring. I might come back to it. And there were some cards I wasn't happy with, so I might get another deck and do something about that. And then combine them, maybe. My favorites. And this card I just don't like anyway. And this one maybe I shouldn't have colored it at all. It didn't help, didn't do anything. The blue, you can kind of see the butterfly in there better. And then this one is another one. Yeah, I don't love that. I don't love this one. And this one either. Yeah. I mean, these hands that are reaching are showing up better, which I hadn't noticed before, but yeah, I don't love that one.
And I thought that you'd see these swords better, but you can't. And I don't really love that for the Ten of Swords anyway, for that one. So I'm not too worried about that. And her, I love her. If I got another copy of the deck, I might color her dress differently. I might try to get different markers to do this with. I did it with markers. It has, you know, like a finish on it, and so it makes it a little hard. And, you know, this apple down here and the detail of the star in the middle of it. I like how those apples came out. I'm okay with that one. And this one, you know, there's just things that just in the way it was drawn and in black and white that were hard to notice. This has so much on it. You know, the little house and the trees and the pentacles and the people down here. I like how that came out. And we're ending on a card that I like. So yay. So that is what I did to one of my copies of Tarot of the Abyss. And I also edged it in silver, just a silver Sharpie. It's the Pythonic Tarot. And I did see that she is coming out with another printing of it. I'm anxious to see what the cardstock is. So I coated this with spray polyurethane because the cards were so chippy. Just like I put them in the bag, I take them out and they were chipped again. Nothing happened. And I tried edging these and I ended up edging it in black nail polish, which is a pain. And you see, you can still see some of the chips. So I think I didn't coat it very well with the black nail polish, but it's better than it was because every card on the front would have white chips and it made me insane. And I love this deck. So that is how I modified that. Yeah. The Bonefire. I don't think I have any originals. Oh, I do. I can compare size. Hold on. Okay, so I ended up with 2 copies of this deck because I trimmed one card incorrectly and had to buy another one. And it's hard to tell. This is all the black, but maybe like that. So I just trimmed the sides, so it's not as wide. The height didn't matter to me, but I just found the thickness of the cards made it a little unwieldy. So you still can't. I mean, it's still, yeah. So because you basically have to overhand this deck, it was just a pain in the neck. And now I can. And then I edged it in black, just black Sharpie. Black Sharpie works great. Another one. You're probably like freaking out. What did she do to the Lily White? I just edged it in gold. That's all. No big deal. I just thought she wanted to be edged in gold. I mean, you got the gold back here. I don't, you know, maybe eco or something, or cost is why it's not gilded. I would love this deck gilded. And what else? Cheimonette. Sorry, the Cheimonette. That is the correct way to pronounce it. She sent me, I asked her and she replied in an email very kindly. She being Eden Gallanter. And so I just edged this in black. It's not an exciting mod. I made this little box for it because I found this little cute box because it's in a tuck box. And I use this a lot and the tuck box is getting worn. Oh, my everyday enchantment I keep in this bag. And I did the same thing I did with the Bonefire. It just had giant borders and it's super unwieldy. And it's kind of that, I think this is also a shipper deck. It's that same floopy cardstock. Floopy. I don't think, yeah, it's still tall for me. But, you know, I try to be careful with not going right up against the art, like I said, in case, you know, I didn't do it in another card, I'm chopping the art off. So, I did cut some off the top and the bottom. But, you know, now I can at least, overhand it. And I don't know, other people who are more skilled at other shuffling techniques, you know, like it's just stiff. So it's weirdly flippy and stiff. So that's that one. What else? This one. This was in another video. It's the Elemental Tarot. It was just gigantic, had like another whole border around it, made it huge. And I'm like, it doesn't even do anything. So I trimmed it. And this was before I had all of my trimming equipment. So it was with scissors, but it had lines to follow on the back. So it was easy. And I didn't even have a corner rounder. So I used nail clippers to do the corners. And I covered the front and back with contact paper, because clear contact paper, because this was the thinnest, worst cardstock ever. And the last mod, I don't even know if it classifies as a mod per se. I've shown my my Halloween deck that used to be the Tarot of the She before. I like the guidebook, and I love the backs. And trying to sell it. It's a mass market deck. It's not expensive, so I'm not going to recoup much. And I enjoyed the fact that what I got out of it was my own Halloween deck. And so I kept the number on the top end. I mean, this, the names, dreamer and whatever they all are, dancer, and the keywords on the bottom. Found artwork that I liked from just books I found at the secondhand store, and glued the images on and made my own deck. So, and it was also, this was a bit of study for me too, trying to find images that not only fit how I interpret the cards, but also fit as well as I could the descriptions in the book. So let's, if we look up Maker Queen, and some of them are ironic because it's my Halloween deck. So the Gift of Healing, it's Medusa. Let's see what it says about this card in here. She's the Maker Queen. Maker Queen. The healing spring of this green land issues forth from her fair hand. All in balance, perfect health, the key to happiness and wealth. So, yeah. So I'm going to walk through this whole thing. I'm going to make like another Halloween video because I forgot some decks. So that is my most extreme mod. I mean, not only did I glue new images on it, I trimmed it so it's not as wide as it was, and it's not as tall as it was either, I don't think. I think I trimmed it on all sides. And if we compare it to the Bonefire, yeah, it ended up being almost the size of the original Bonefire. It's a little taller. So it's, yeah, and it's chunky now with the art glued on top. Anyway, that is all of my mods and a little intro in how I do them. So I hope that was entertaining. I hope you enjoyed that. Remember to comment and like and subscribe and click on the bell so you're notified when I have new videos. And take care of yourself. Thanks for watching, and bye. Well, it's time for another giveaway, and this time it is not a deck I don't jive with, but a deck that it was almost cheaper to buy 2 copies and not pay for shipping than it was to buy 1 copy and pay for shipping. So I thought, well, I'll just pay the little bit of extra money. I'll get a 2nd copy and I will put it up in a giveaway. So as you saw, it's called Womanhood Revisited. And if you want to enter the drawing for this deck, put the word womanhood in your comments. And you will be entered, and you can enter in as many times as you want, but only once per video. So if
if you put in womanhood 5 times on the same video, you still only get 1 entry for that video. This should go a little faster. And so this deck is collage art and colorizations of like old newspaper articles and stuff and other art that he found. That's such a pretty world card. And I saw this on someone's Instagram, I believe it was, and it was the Fool card. And I just fell in love with that Fool card. And then I went out and found, I think I asked that person where they got this, and they told me that they just got it on Etsy. And it is indeed on Etsy. It's a French produced deck, so it came from France, and that's why the shipping was so expensive. And that's why buying the second copy was only a little bit more, because I got free shipping than if I just got one and paid for shipping. So you, whoever you are that wins this, are the recipient of a brand new deck that I just decided to buy so I could share it, because I really, really like this deck and I don't think people know about it. And I will be doing a side-by-side comparison of this with, I'm not sure what yet, something, with something. Obviously it's all women, and it, I guess you could call it, some of it curated art. Not really art, like it's just old pop culture stuff, maybe you could say. I mean, there isn't a whole lot of info on it, and then his Facebook page is in French, and at least I think it is. But I think it's a fun little deck. I'm not in love with backs. I cannot think of almost anything else that would be better than these backs. I don't even understand the backs with the front, but and it's like that more kind of cheapy feeling cardstock, so you could probably bend it and mess it up if you weren't careful with it. So that is Womanhood Revisited, and if you would like to enter to win, enter the word womanhood in your comments below, and always remember to like and subscribe. Thanks.